Hi, welcome along to today's live video. Just get my laptop sorted out. Oh, where's Facebook gone? Oh no, they've done something funny. Hold on folks, hold on. I can't get onto my own page. That's my profile. Sorry. Just bear with me. If I'm trying, oh there I am. Phew, right, hi. Welcome along, hi Kat Kennedy, good name, KK. In New Mexico, hi Emma, hi. Sorry about yesterday folks, you know what, I just did not feel well. I think I was getting a migraine and it was getting to the point where I was kind of having to like close one eye to see properly, and I was starting to feel a bit sick. I was like, we could probably do a live, but it's going to go downhill very quickly. So after many years of pushing through and trying to just do stuff even though I've got a migraine brewing, I took my own advice and practiced a bit of self-care and went home early and took my pills and went to bed. So much better today. Everyone else who gets migraines, I feel like, you know when you get like the thing and it just feels like you need to like scoop your own eyeball out. Sorry, that's really rank. But there I am. I'm here, back. We're going to do today, after having just talked about horrible things, a lovely Mother's Day tutorial. So, because we are a little bit later doing this than I had anticipated, I've done a little download that I'll show you in a minute. That you should have the link, yes there it is, in the description for the live video. You don't need the download, you can do it without that. I just thought, because we might be a little bit short on time, you know, like if you're stressing, I want to make this before Sunday and I've got school and blah 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 and lots of other things, having the download is a bit of a cheat, so you can sort of skip a few steps. All will make sense in a second. So, when you're printing your download, we need it this way, but it'll print out this way. Just leave it, just print it exactly as it is. Don't try and rotate it or do anything weird. There's a link to a blog post with the download, like 5 top tips for printing downloads. Basically, make sure it's at 100%, print to page size, use decent quality paper, don't put anything too ambitious in your printer, it'll get jammed. Don't worry about it. It's the long and the short of it. Right, I'm going to flip the camera. Also, just to warn you, for some reason my phone had really low battery today, so I have it plugged in. I'm not sure if that's going to affect how it sits when I balance it on the tripod. I literally balance it. I don't even have the thing for holding it because I just don't. Right, let's go. Oh, 500 of you already. Right, hold on. I'm going to try and sort this out. Hold on. That's a nice view of my ceiling. Right. Here we go. The cable is not helping us. Okay, so when you get the download, it'll print out, I think, like this. Obviously, we are going to turn it around like this. Sumatriptan, yes, Sally Ann, that's what I take. After many years of migraine leave, I moved over to sumatriptan and it is the bomb. I get very excited about migraine meds. Right. Now, there we go. So this is what you can hopefully see. When you get your download, it's going to be a card, and hopefully you can see here a very faint circle and then this little scroll. So you can absolutely make your own by drawing a circle with a compass and drawing the scroll yourself, or get this download. Let me zoom all the way out so you can see what I'm doing. And then the idea is you fold it in half and we're going to make a little card. Ta-da! So obviously it's blank on the inside and you can write your message, and then on the back I've put a little bit of artwork, and then there's a space for you to write your name, and there's my name as well. And this is what we're going to be drawing today. Okay, let's get going. So it's not Mother's Day everywhere, only in the UK. Don't know why we don't coordinate that. I think it actually might be the UK and Australia and New Zealand and some other places. Here we go. So what you could do is use this template for pretty much anything. You could use it for a happy birthday card, a congratulations you're getting married card, a yay new job card, anything. The idea is in this space you could write anything that you want. We are, for the purposes of this card, going to write mum. Now, you see this outline very faintly. That's where we're going to draw our flowers. So I'm just going to get started. Everyone's telling me when Mother's Day is. Where you are. Yep. Well, excellent. We're going to have this. We won't be late for you. You've got no excuse. You could have a masterpiece if it's in May. Start drawing now. So we're going to draw flowers up to this outline. And the idea is that this sort of wavy crest bit of paper, it's not a crest, what is it? It's a scroll, is over the top of our flowers. So my top tip would be, don't have everything like this coming right up to the edge. You want some poking out from behind it. Don't know if I'm drawing this too pale. I'll push a bit harder so that we can see on the camera. I might even zoom in a bit actually. We'll do the top half and then the bottom half. So, flowers. Generally speaking, draw a big circle, draw the middle, we'll do a few biggies and then we'll fill in the gaps with smaller flowers and some foliage. I would say these are going to be our flowers. Don't worry about going over this outline here. If you try and keep exactly within it, it looks really tight. So it's quite nice to have a little bit of overlap. And yeah, because this is printed, you are going to have that line there. You can't rub that out. But my feeling is the artwork is going to be so beautiful and inky that you're not going to notice that. If you wanted to draw your own template and get your compass out and draw a circle in pencil instead of using the printout, you obviously will not have the outline there when you rub it out because it'll be in pencil. So I'm just going to rough in these blooms. So big circle, and then I'll do it properly. Top and bottom, left and right, fill in the gaps. It's not going to look precise, it's not going to be exactly even, but it's hand drawn and it's meant to be like that. So the aim isn't to get everything looking perfect, it's just to make it look natural and wild and organic and free. All those good things. So you can take your time. I don't know why I'm chasing through this. You know, I've got a to-do list the length of my arm to do because I've basically got to now do 2 days worth of work in one day because the first half of yesterday I was just lolling about feeling sorry for myself, and then the second half of yesterday I was sleeping. But yeah, now there's so much to do. So I've sketched those in pretty quick. You can take your time, and obviously I've drawn a lot of flowers and my standards are quite low, so I'm totally comfortable with this being so scruffy because I know I will tidy it all up when I ink it. Now that we've done the biggies, let's go back and fill the gaps. So I'm going to have a wee leaf here. Will we have a leaf here? And I'm actually going to rub out these overlaps. I'm not going to have anything overlapping onto the scroll just because that scroll is a printed line and it's going to be tough to colour or draw over the top of that and not be able to see the line, which I know will annoy me. Much easier to go over this line. So that's our general rule. The flowers and foliage will go over this outer line that is the circle, but not this line that is the scroll. And don't worry about wee gaps like this. Having said that, I am going to just make this leaf a bit... No, I'm not. I thought I was going to make that look spiky, but now it just looks a bit aggressive. We'll just keep that like that. I don't even know if you can get an aggressive leaf, but that's how it felt. And I'm roughly doing all the same sorts of flowers today as well. So sometimes I'll switch it up and try and do loads of different varieties, like some bluebelly kind, some sort of daffodils, some roses. Other times I keep things really basic and similar. And so like in this one, you can see they're pretty much all these big, bold, simple daisy shapes. And I think for something that's small, keeping things like that coherent and similar and not going too crazy and trying to cram in every variety of petal that you can think of is good, because otherwise they can look a little bit cluttered is what I'm looking for. Cluttered. Having said that, the odd wee sprig, like let's find a bit to fit in. I'll fit it in a minute. Maybe here. I'll figure it out later. It's quite nice because it just breaks up the dominant shapes. I've not even drunk that much coffee. I've had one coffee today, but remember that world record? I could probably just redraw that now in about 10 minutes. On fire. There we go. So as I say, I'm chasing on. You take your time, enjoy it, tweak it. That's too leafy there. If you want to do flowers with more pointed petals as opposed to these rounded daisy-like ones, all fine as well. For the leaves, I find it easier to draw. Imagine here's the center of the flower, then draw an imaginary line coming out. This becomes the vein or the middle part of the leaf, and then draw the outside edges. That way you don't have random leaves like this, which I think sometimes look like, where on earth is that coming from? It needs to come from the center for me anyway, of the flower. We'll do one more little blossom in here. I've been drawing flowers all morning. And ones like this in particular, I feel like I could just close my eyes and draw with them today. In the zone, in the petal zone. Right, that's our top. I'm not even paying attention to comments, I'm so sorry. Millie says, excellent tip, Ari, leaf centers. Yeah, do you know, it's one of those things where, say we have this big flower here, and then you have a random leaf like that. It just it looks okay, it just looks to me a bit odd. I think it looks better when they all sort of flow from the center of the flower, and vary the size of your leaves. Like that big one beside that wee one looks quite cute, although not there because it's too perpendicular, like up and down the way. Do it there. Oh, sorry, off camera. Right, now let's go down here. Oh, hi Emily. Is that really dark down there to do? Fab. Right, now we'll do down here. I'm going to do the same thing. Just draw in a few overlapping big circles for those major blooms, and then we'll fill in the gaps. So vary the sizes, have a little bit of overlap. Those are going to be our biggest flowers. And then we can just go back and gently add in our petals. So my way of drawing flowers, I describe and show you step by step how to do that and how to draw Inky Wonderlands, my drawing book. It's so simple, folks. It's just really this recipe. Like, I draw the circles, then I do top, bottom, left, right, and then in this one I'm going to do 2 skinny petals in each gap. the way I draw is always like a recipe, and there's a method for doing almost everything, whether it's flowers, leaves, houses. And once you learn the method, you just tweak it. So this is just a tweaked version of this, and then we'll do another tweaked version here. Let's do these big round petals. We've not, oh, that's a new one. I haven't done a 4 petaler today, but we'll do that there. It's a bit like when you're baking. If you have a generic sponge recipe and you master that, you can then start to do variations. So that might be making a chocolate sponge, making a raspberry sponge, making a coffee cake. You just take that one basic recipe and tweak it and adapt it to create many variations. And that is literally how I do this style of drawing. Kat says, my petals always look wonky. Mine too. I think that's all right. We're humans. Embrace the wobble. Don't try and... See, we're so used to seeing computer-generated artwork that we think everything should be perfect and symmetrical, even, all those things. Quite often my petals are totally wonky all over the shop. Don't worry about it. It's nature. Right, I'll do a few wee leaves in here. I'm going to do a little flower sneaking in here. We'll do another one of those 4-petaled ones. Sometimes as well, you have to wait until the inking stage to see where the gaps are, because it's so it's so scruffy at some points that it's not until you ink it and you get rid of all these pencil lines that you can really start to see where you've got gaps, where you need to maybe have a wee extra leaf just to fill something in. And leaves are great. They're such a nice way to fill a gap without it being too heavy. And we're gonna, well, we might not colour it today. I might just leave you guys to colour it, or we could maybe colour it tomorrow. But if you have your shapes too small, so the flower shapes and the leaf shapes too small, it just makes colouring tricky. So bear that in mind. And don't make your picture so intricate that it's going to be a nightmare to colour. So again, these bits will get erased. Right, I think what we'll do is zoom out, ink it, erase the pencil, and then we can see where we've got gaps, where we've got room to add some wee flourishes. There's the whole thing. Like some wee vines escaping and little tendrils, maybe a wee bud. All those good things will be nice. And then we can finish off by putting our words in here. Oh, what was a good comment? Hold on. Any tips on how to release the death grip I seem to always have? Oh no, it just disappeared. Wait till I see if I can get your comment back. I'm assuming that was about on the pencils, the joint in my index finger. So you're probably gripping your pencil because you're quite tense. So maybe do some exercises to free it up. So when you begin drawing, do some big bold circles, some wavy lines, some zigzags, be really flow, easy breezy, and just sort of trick yourself into not being too, I was about to say uptight, but you know when someone says, don't be so uptight, it's like the most irritating thing ever. All you are is like then more instantly uptight. It's just, it doesn't help. But I definitely think it's because you're putting too much pressure on yourself. And also maybe drawing really small. If I'm drawing small, I grip the pencil or pen harder because of just detail. So try drawing bigger as well, I think. Sherry says, hold your pencil further back. I would struggle to do that because I wouldn't have the control that I need, but it would definitely make it more easy breezy. Maybe do that as your warm-up and then hold it closer to the nib or the point when you come to draw. So because I'm working straight over the graphite, this is going to get smudgy quite quickly. Don't panic, is my advice. Let me just check we're in frame. Oh, my video keeps pausing. Gonna add some dots. So I'm just using a Staedtler pigment liner, a 0.2. You can use any kind of pen. If you're using something like a felt tip pen that has a much broader nib, it's going to be tricky to do details. If you're using a very fine pen, it's going to instinctively make you draw smaller scale, much tighter. So a sort of medium nibbage is perfection. That's what you're after. Small enough that you can do details, but not so small that it's like scratching the paper with a little needle. That's just really, well, it's just irritating for you, isn't it? That can't be much fun. These wee lines, I do a bit like as if you were doing a tick. So you know when you do a tick, you go down and then you flick. And it's that flicking motion. It's sort of the pen down and then flick. That gives the line this nice little character of being a bit heavier at the front and then wisping off. Character of line. Now we sound like proper artists. Adding a few wee dots. I'm deliberately making these leaves a bit wobbly. I think again that just gives them a bit of nice character. I'm gonna do this little flower overlapping this big one because otherwise that big flower is gonna end up on top and it'll just be so dominant. So it's good to knock it back a little bit by having something else over the top of it. Here are my very wonky petals. Let's do some wee lines coming from the center. A few little leaves. Right, now we'll do this biggie. Now remember, we're not going to go over the line of the scroll. So I'm going to make the center sort of fluffy looking. And I think this one will do some polka dots in the middle. Here's helicopters going over. And then we'll do our petals. That helicopter was going to land on the roof. So remember not to go over the line at the bottom here. Now, I know we're doing this for a Mother's Day card, but as I say, fantastic birthday card, good luck card, engagement card, wedding card, new baby card, you name it. Change out the flowers and the blooms for foliage. You've got a nice Thanksgiving card, like a nice autumnal fall card. Change out the foliage again and replace it with like holly, ivy, poinsettia. Bingo, Christmas card. See where I'm going with this? If you were to put daffodils, you have a fantastic Easter card. Again, it's just all about learning a basic method and then adapting it. Oh, there's a very skinny little petal in there. We'll put our leaves in. I think we're going to end up with a gap here, but I'm going to wait till the end to sort of sort that. I'm going to do this flower next so that it's overlapping this bigger one here. If you wanted, you could make all your overlapping decisions still at pencil stage and just go over your pencil lines a bit heavier so that you knew which ones were going to be the overlappers if you were a bit tentative about making those decisions on the hoof in ink. That way you wouldn't have to remember what's going where and in which order. You would just darken it in pencil before you begin inking. Megan says, do you ever give store-bought cards? All the time, Megan. All the time. Imagine having to make every single card. I make cards for special occasions, and what else? If I've run out of cards, I'm the kind of person that buys a stack and keeps them in the cupboard. That's terrible. So many kids' birthdays though, honestly. If you were to try and make birthday cards all the time, I would never do anything else. You would never see another colouring book from me again. When I was an art student, I made all like wedding cards, wedding presents. That's the good thing about being an art student. Like, you were perpetually broke, but kind of didn't matter because for a lot of things you could get away with stuff by just making things and people were quite happy. Or maybe they weren't happy. Maybe they're like, geez, I just really wanted a kettle and she's drawn me another picture. I don't know. You need to ask my friends. Let's do some wee dots on the tips of this bigger flower here. And then I'm actually going to change this. So we've got quite a lot of 4-petaled flowers down at the bottom and we've got none up here. So I'm going to change this into a 4-petaled flower just so that we've got one, at least one on the top, because we've got so many on the bottom. And in terms of like patterns and things and how you embellish the flowers or add pattern to the leaves, I think you sort of build up a visual dictionary of tricks. So for example, I've got little polka dots, I've got like those little lines that I do for leaves. Sometimes I'll do like, it's almost like little tiger marks, like lines coming in from the side. Sometimes I'll do lines coming in from the middle vein there. Just the more you draw, the more you will pick up on ideas and save them up and have them ready to use at any moment. I was going to start filling in all those wee gaps, but I'll wait and do it later. So there's our top half. Now let's do the bottom. It's 4:30. We're definitely not colouring this today, are we? We'll get it all inked and that'll be plenty for today. Then if you are following along at home, you could have your card all drawn and we can colour them tomorrow. How about that? We can colour them all together. Now remember, don't go over our wee scroll there. I think we'll do a couple of wee lines coming in on the tip of that petal. Let's do the 4 petal as the, oh, I'm going to extend that so it goes underneath there. Here. And that's, see, overlaid on this big one, otherwise this big flower was going to be right at the top, which is just too dominant. It's all we would notice. And do these wee polka dots again. I was sitting here wondering why my battery's so low. It's really unusual. I charge my phone every night for my battery to be flat before doing a live. I can't think why it would be. I don't feel like I've been even on my phone that much today. I've been so busy drawing. Wonder what it is. Everyone remember their very first cell phone that you charged up and it lasted about 3 days? Right, I'm going to, I think we'll do some wee lines with dots coming from the centre here. And let's do the 4 petal down here. Oh, I forgot to do that there. And this one. Everyone's speaking about their first cell phones. I am reading Evie just now at bedtime. One of the Saddle Club books. I managed to get it on eBay. So when I was little, I loved the Saddle Club stories about 3 girls, Stevie, Carol and Lisa, and they go riding at Pine Hollow stables. And I mean, I wasn't even a horsey kid, but I love those books. Some of you'll be going, oh my goodness, yes, I remember that. So it was sort of at the same kind of time as Sweet Valley Twins, Sweet Valley High and Babysitter's Club. Anyway, I got Evie this copy of the Saddle Club, and it's the first one and we're reading it. And in this story, Stevie Lake wins a tape recorder. And she does odd jobs to get money to buy cassettes. And oh my days, trying to explain to Evie what a cassette is, what a tape recorder is. She's like, but which bit of it is the thing that plays the music? Does the cassette play the music? Or is that the music? Oh, I'm like that. Well, before iTunes, you just like, I feel so old. And then there's a bit in the story that we were reading last night when she's in, Stevie Lake is in the music shop, rifling through great big stacks of cassettes to pick which ones to buy. And Evie's like, but how can it be a shop of music? And I'm like, well, that's how it used to be. Like, you went in and then it was just like, it was a bit like a supermarket, loads and loads of boxes, and you just looked through it all until you found the ones that you want. She was just like flabbergasted. She's like, what? What? Did they have everything? Like, no, that was like part of the thing. Like, you sometimes couldn't find stuff for ages, and you couldn't listen to it then and there. You had to just trust it was going to be what you wanted. And anyway, crazy. The other thing that she found bananas was, there's a bit in the story that we're reading just now where Carol has to get in touch with Stevie quickly, which involves her trying to find a phone box and calling Stevie's landline. Just Evie's like that. But I don't understand, why didn't she just like phone her? Why does she have to find this phone in a box? It's like, oh my days. I felt very old. Right, that's us almost finished. See for leaves where the middle of it is sort of disappearing into a gap, it's going to look really sort of clunky to try and draw the middle vein of that leaf, the spine of the leaf coming up from there. So those are ones where I definitely just do a wee flick coming in from the point, and I don't try and indicate the middle of the leaf going into the center, because it just gets too cluttered and inky down there. Here's our little, oh, fluff that a bit. Oh, 8-pointer there, and then a few wee leaves. I love the moment when you erase the pencil lines and you see the artwork for the first time without all the scaffolding underneath it, because it always looks so different. I'm going to just plug a few gaps with some extra leaves that I can see. Sometimes I squint a little bit and sort of close one eye as if I've got a migraine, and that helps see where you need to add a bit more. That's looking okay at the bottom. Let me just check the top. I think we're going to have a bit of an issue around here. I might put a wee leaf there. This is a bit of a big center. Let me just do some wee dots. Oh, excuse me, I've got the sniffles again. Oh, I'm down here adding a bit of detail, so I forget to shifty about. Right, let's stop. I'm gonna wait a wee second for the ink to dry. Looks quite nice, doesn't it, when you zoom out? You don't really recognise how it looks when it's all zoomed in. I'm going to let the ink dry a few seconds, because if you try and erase the pencil while the ink is still wet, you just get a big smudgy mess and you will cry. Lovely, Jennifer says, thank you. I think we're gonna add a few wee bits to it. So top tip, make a fist, roll your fist over, lift it up, look to see if there's any black on here. Don't use your fingertip, because you've often got grease or oil or smudge, or if you're me, chocolate foundation or something random like that on your finger, and you're just gonna leave a big yucky fingerprint. This bit tends to be a bit cleaner, so just clean, fine. Erasers, use a white plastic eraser. They are my favourite, they're nice and clean. If it's a bit smudgy, just rub it on the table like this. Get those smudgy bits off. Don't be tempted to use a coloured eraser, a novelty eraser. Evie has some beautiful sparkly unicorn erasers that just tear your paper. Don't use them. Don't use a putty eraser either. I know proper artists use them, but not for this kind of paper. When you're erasing your pencil, go gently, don't scrub at the paper, just sort of feel like you're Gently erasing the pencil. Better to do it in a few sweeps than to try and scrub away because you're at risk of scrunching up your paper. And you will still see that outline of the circle from the printout. So don't worry about that. There we go. Ta-da! Leslie says, it's like the big ta-da. What paper are you using? Val, this is just a sheet of paper, office paper from Tesco or supermarket. I think it was like $3.99 for a pack. It is nothing fancy. Literally just white copy paper. Not coated, not textured. Just cheap as chips office paper. Right. I'm just going to see if we need to add any more bits. I might just leave it. I feel like I'm at the stage where I could faff about for ages. I think we're done. I think we're done for today, and we'll come back tomorrow and add colour. And we'll write Mum in here. Where is your ladybug? Oh yeah, do you know what? It's on my other desk. I've got a little desktop vacuum cleaner that I use. Right, there we go. Let me just try and flip this camera. Do you want to see it down like that? Oh, sorry folks. It's because it's all plugged in. Right. Lorna says stop. Stop what, Lorna? Yes, not add a ladybug. We're going to use the ladybug to hoover up all the little sweepings. I'll have that for tomorrow. Tomorrow, folks, we will add the text. We'll add a bit of colour. I'm probably not going to have time to colour at all. I might do, we'll see. And that's it. So if you're going to have a go at that, use the download link that's in the description for the video if you want that, or just get a bit of paper, use a compass, draw your own wee scroll thing. Totally up to you. I just thought having a template might be easier in this circumstances. Nobody asked for this because I'm not going to set it up as a download. You have to go and draw your own. That's important. It really is. Have a lovely day. Oh, Emily says, it turned out so lovely. Thanks, Emily. It's all right, isn't it? Do you know what? Will I show you how this began? Can you see that? Wait till I show you. This was me this morning going, I need an idea. What am I going to do for this tutorial? So it's like, oh, we'll do that. And then on the back, we'll have a little bit of text. This is how like all my ideas begin. I quite like this idea. We'll do this tomorrow. If you underline that bit really heavy and that wee bit there, it'll make it look 3D, like it's sticking out a bit. I love it when a plan comes together. Thank you so much, everyone. Sorry again for the late notice of yesterday. I was just like, this is not gonna happen. And I knew I would be so much better today if I just took yesterday off. Good life lesson there. I also wondered if I was just feeling a general sadness about the state of Britain at the moment. I was like, like 1% for the nurses, really? If you don't live in the UK, you won't know what I'm talking about, but I was very upset about the proposed pay increase for nurses, and I was also very upset about Meghan. I really feel for her. That's all I'm going to say. What is happening in the world, honestly? Like, even Evie to me is like, Mum, this doesn't seem right. I was like, no, sweetheart, that's because it's not right. Well spotted. See you back here tomorrow. Go and draw your picture, grab your colouring pencils, and we'll colour, or you can use pens actually, because that's on paper and it won't matter if the ink goes through to the other side. You can use your gel pens or any kind of pens. I'm going to use my pencils because I like to blend it. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Have fun.